Welcome to Lunch and Learn Zoom Friday. On behalf of Livia Vo and myself, we'd like to welcome you today to our Lunch and Learn Zoom Friday. I'm thrilled to death because it is going to be fall someday, right? We were talking about that last week and had a little bit of sharing going on this morning. So one of the things that we're going to do today is that's going to be our table topic. But for visitors, each week we have a theme, and I want to go over that right quick. Week one is we have talk about collaborations, referral partners, barter exchange, co-branding. Week two, this is our learning component. Iron sharpens iron. Bring in tips, tools, strategies, anything that we can help one another grow your business. That's when we discuss those. Week three, which is today, which is our elevator pitches and irresistible offers. You bring those in and we practice, get coaching and feedback on those. And then week four is all about relationship marketing. Who'd you meet? Who would you like to meet? New connections, maybe reconnections, touch points, all those type of things. And then each week, except for during the elevator pitch, we have a featured speaker. So if you know of anybody that has professional or personal development topics that could benefit entrepreneurs from all aspects, we are open for featured speakers. We also have a mid-month mastermind session once a month on the second Tuesday of each month. And then we have our co-op meeting the third Tuesday of each month as well. So before we get started, a couple of things. First of all, Sandy, we missed you on your birthday. We said happy birthday, but you wasn't here. So happy birthday on that.
Thank you.
And then I saw where Rosemary Giz, she had received her Ontario Mortgage Broker Education Program. Let's see what else that I saw this week. Helen, tell us about your wonderful trip to Niagara Falls. How far is that from where you are, or is that in your general vicinity? Love those pictures.
We're about, I don't know, 2 hours away, but we kind of did a roundabout version. So we went over to the west side of Ontario first, towards Lake Superior. And then we went all the way across the bottom, kind of Lake Erie up to Niagara Falls. So that was a bit of a drive to do that, but it was super fun. We just needed to get out and play. So we did that for 6 days, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Wonderful, wonderful. Juanita had a back procedure, so I don't know if she'll be in today or not. She's fine. It was a in and out deal, but hopefully it'll be making her feel a lot better. And then Jeffrey Berger, y'all haven't seen him in a little while. His brother finally lost his battle to cancer last night. And so he's, been out there taking care of that. And then if you recall, his mama just passed away recently and he was having to take care of the estate and all of that up in New York. So I believe now he's out in California, Southern California. So he's had a really tough time. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, please reach out to him and give him your love and deepest condolences. Also today, several of the people in our tribe here were part of Forbes Riley and Steve Samblay's One Habit book series. And he passed away recently. And so Forbes wanted to announce that Forbes is doing a celebration of life today online at 1 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. Central Time, and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for anybody who would like to participate in that. And just wanted to say that our hearts go out to all of them. And this is a really great example, folks, of, I want to be careful how I say this, of having your business in order properly. Forbes and him were business partners, and they had over, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, like 300 authors in this One Habit series. Now he had a lot, so it's kind of like a chicken soup for the soul thing that he had started. So it was big, international bestsellers. They just recently did this in the last, several months. It was an amazing thing. Well, he passed away. And let's see here. Do we have any other celebrations, kudos, or anything that you'd like to recognize this week? Anything going on? Yes, Helen.
I would love to share that I just started the beta launch of my Business Story Mastery program on Thursday of this week. So it's 6 units. I've got some people enrolled and they're participating live so that I can build it out as best as I can before I put it out online for sale. So super excited to be doing that.
Congratulations. Anybody else? Yes, Melissa.
It's a celebration in progress. I'm part of a 100-day challenge with my mentor, Dr. Cabral, of the Integrative Health Practitioner, and all of his ambassadors. We've got a month left to go. The top 10 get an all expenses paid 2-day training with him down in West Palm Beach, Florida on November 5th and 6th. And I'm in spot number 2 with a month to go. I'm excited.
Wow,
And
congratulations.
visualizing this because he's my mentor and I just wanted to do more training with him so I can help more people.
Well, I have noticed all of your stuff that you've been doing. Really, you've been kicking it up a notch. It looks fantastic. So kudos to you on that. So whatever y'all are doing over there, it's working because it's well done.
Well, thank you very much. And the part where I'm not good yet, because I just haven't made the time, is I'm not good at spending time on other people's social media commenting and all of that.
Yep.
So that's the next step that I have to improve or figure out or find a ghost person that will do it for me or something. If you know any suggestions, let me know. Jessica, maybe you have one.
There you go. Juanita, welcome. Sorry you couldn't get in today. I did tell him you had a procedure and wasn't sure if you was going to make it today. So we're happy to see that you made it here. Right now, we're just talking about.
Again, I was like, oh no.
Anybody else have anything that you'd like to share? All right, before we get started, let's go around the room. And today we're going to do something just a little bit different. Just give your name, where you're calling in from today or where you live. And then let's talk about this fall theme. What you love about fall. Maybe you want to share a fall memory, something you look forward to. Maybe compare what you loved as a child in fall versus what you do now. So Olivia, we'll start with you.
Happy Friday, everyone. So yes, I love fall. And before coming to Jacksonville, I lived in Boston for a very long time. And my favorite thing to do is visit these pumpkin patches. So you can see me there at a pumpkin patch. And since moving to Florida, I've discovered some new traditions, one which will be starting today. And I recently met a family that grows persimmons. And there's a persimmon farm and they're in season. So my husband and I will get to go and check that out today. So persimmons are that fruit right there on the bottom.
And somebody correct me. I shared with her the other day. Isn't it persimmons that you can cut the seed in half and it has like a little spoon and a fork inside it? It looks like as part of the seed membrane. Seems like I remember that as a kid.
I'm going to cut one open today and just,
Okay, it's right. If I remember right, it's right down the center. And then when you open that up, it looks like a little bitty spoon and fork inside there. I don't know why that stuck to me. Kate, come on down.
Fall is my favorite season. It is also my my birthday month. So I'm looking forward to that. And we've lately, the last couple of years, we've been going wine tasting. So I hope we can still go wine tasting or we're just going to have to do our own. Traditions in the fall. I think really only Thanksgiving, right? So that would be that. And I think we'll have to come up with something this year. But instead of my picture, may I do a song for you?
Absolutely.
The falling leaves drift by my window. Those autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your face, those summer kisses, your sunburned hands I used to hold. But since you went away, the days grow long, and I can hear a winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
Fantastic, as always,
Thank
Kate. What
you.
a beautiful, beautiful voice you have. Just never know what you're going to get when you come in here on Fridays. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for allowing me to sing. I'm missing singing for people. So
Well, you always do a lovely job. Kimberly, would you like to share?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me, Nancy. This is my first one to join, my first Friday to join y'all. I'm actually zooming in, although this looks amazing from Google or Bing, but I'm zooming in from Nashville, Tennessee. Fall is also my favorite season. Absolutely love it. We've actually been blessed and had probably off and on for about 2 weeks fall temperatures already. I'm from New Orleans originally. If you guys know anything about NOLA, it's basically summer and like 100% humidity, 11 months out the year. So as children, we came up to the Smoky Mountains quite a bit and have frequented Dollywood and the Smokies. And so I definitely fell in love with the region. And what else was traditions? I'm not sure a tradition. I'm trying to think of, I'm all for the wine tasting. If I go up to my family, I have family in Virginia. Virginia, we hit nothing but vineyards. So definitely down for that. And I'm trying to plan out holidays now. It looks like I may be doing Christmas in Mexico. So I have no idea for November as of yet.
Oh, wow. Mexico as in South America. I mean, not South America. That are inside the United States.
Yeah, they're my cousin's wife is Mexican, so she actually still has property, beautiful home. I actually asked if I could live there. Right, it's all the I'm blanking on the all the stone, the mosaic tiles, and an in-ground pool and swim-up bar, and it's beautiful there. She's from Cuernavaca, if anyone's familiar. So we fly into Mexico City, and it's about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 northeast, if I remember correctly, from Mexico City. So they texted last night. They typically plan like the week of. I'm not even sure how, being successful people and 3 kids, but thankfully she sent dates for December 21st through January 6th. So looking forward to being with the family and celebrating down in Mexico.
Oh, wow. Make sure you post lots of pictures. We're so glad that
do.
you arrived today.
Thank you.
Helen.
I'll let
Oh,
you know
go-
how it is because I'm going to be there in 2 weeks.
And where are you going, Claudio?
It's called the Azul Fives, a beach resort. It's just outside of Playa del Carmen, so near Cancun.
Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and go next?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning, depending where you are. My name's Claudio, and as entrepreneurs, I'm sure we all love the concept of having multiple streams
Hang
of
on.
income.
We're not doing pitches. We're
Oh,
just
sorry.
doing-
Oh, the fall.
Look at him. He's on autopilot, man.
Sorry about that. Oh, usually we do that at the end of the pitch. So
I know. I
thrown
got to
off.
shake you up just a little bit today.
We've never really been big on fall traditions, but what I do love to do in the fall is go golfing. So I'm actually hoping to arrange a couple of rounds with some friends in the next week or so, and or at least when we come back from our trip. So that's my favorite pastime in the fall because it's nice and cool outside.
Very cool. Helen.
There we go. So yeah, so fall, as you can see, is my favorite season. This is actually part of my website behind me. There's a little girl there who's usually sitting on the bench, but right now it's me. So when I was pulling it up, all of a sudden I thought, oh my goodness, I have my own fall scene. Fall is my favorite time of year, the colors, but especially the cooler weather. When Kimberly was talking about New Orleans being like humidity 11 months of the year, I was like, I am never going there. We've had a really humid summer in Ontario, and that's not to my liking. So I'm so happy to have the fresher air now.
Yeah.
Traditions for us are maybe a little bit different than for some. In the fall, in that my youngest daughter, who has special needs, is horrified of all things macabre. So we do not participate in Halloween. We haven't for many, many years. We kind of shut the house down, close the lights, do whatever there's been years actually where I've taken her away to stay in a hotel just to get her away from everything that happens with that. So that's one fall custom that a lot of people have that we don't participate in. And it's a funny thing for me because I love it, but I can't do it because of her. So yeah, so Thanksgiving, and we're heading off this weekend actually just to do some travels up north and find some great farm stands and bring home all sorts of fresh vegetables and things like that. So I love being out in the fall.
Fabulous. Bruce.
Yes, as I live in the kind of halfway between Seattle and Tacoma, Washington, kind of in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains and stuff. And looks like Nancy and I have a similar thing with the road with the view and that's Mount Rainier. And that is our icon of this area, and that's love the fall foliage and changing colors and that. And like everybody else is saying, this is just that changing over to a cooler weather, especially the last, gosh, pretty much all summer, we've had record heat wave here and stuff. It was in the 80s and 90s and sometimes into the low hundreds, which is really unusual for this area. So I'm really thankful for switching over to a cooler time frame in that, but don't really have any traditions in that, but I just enjoy the colors.
Thank you. Jessica?
When I was little, we lived in Maine, and that was pretty awesome because the power of fall in Maine is unbelievable. I remember when I was taking a walk with my parents and the leaves falling down from the trees were larger than my hand as a little girl, the big maple leaves. And one of the things that we do with the kids is, you just say this is silly, but we gather leaves and we take the piece of paper and put it on top and then use the side of a crayon and make you shade it, and then it makes the imprint of the leaf on the paper with the crayons, and then we send those as little cards to people that we love. So I think fall is very, very beautiful. We'll probably taking care to Hershey Park this fall just because it's not so scalding hot, and so that'll be fun.
Sandy.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I haven't done the leaf crayon art for, oh my gosh, yeah. We won't even count how many years I am today for my birthday this year. Oh my gosh. That was so much fun. If you've ever done that, it's always really cool. And then you actually iron it. Didn't you iron it, Jessica, and heat the wax? Because then it heats the wax. You actually put scrapings between the wax paper. So anyway, it's fun. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or just outside of Minneapolis. Fall is beautiful. I love the changing colors. And like going out for the walks. Typically, I don't like it because high allergy season here, and I was always sick growing up as a child, but I have done some detoxing in the last year, so now I can enjoy the outdoors. So probably just a trip to an apple orchard, pumpkin farming, picking, or something like that is on the agenda for coming up, and because it's going to be really short this year, I think, for the fall season.
Thank you. Melissa?
So my favorite season is whatever season it is. And I come from Australia originally, where there's only 2 seasons. And then I was raised in Japan and experienced 4 seasons. And in Japan, the fall, they have the Japanese maple, which is much smaller than the Canadian maple. But that was my first experience of fall. And it was actually when I was working there as a young adult that I was going into a train station, and I saw this beautiful image of snow-capped mountains and red and golden leaves everywhere. And it was an advertisement for Canada. And that was 32 years ago. And I moved here 31 years ago. And I've never seen the fall in the Laurentians in Quebec because I'm on the West Coast. But my image is the middle of Whistler at our celebration plaza from the Olympics, there with the Olympic rings. And we have the red and golden trees here too, but just not the same size as the Laurentians. And one day I will get there. Oh, and we have Thanksgiving in October, of course. So our fall tradition is Canadian Thanksgiving. Although for my family with 2 soccer players, we were always at a soccer tournament on Thanksgiving weekend. So it's not your traditional Thanksgiving, that's for sure.
Juanita, come on down.
So for a fall tradition, this is one of the scenes here behind me. I'm from Germany. And so, you know, normally this is where I would be. I don't know if you can see my Gemütlichkeit. We would be at the fest. So no fests right now, but I'm learning them all here. There's lots here in America. So I've been starting to look around and see. But this right here behind me is one of the traditional fests I used to go to in Esterdingen near Stuttgart. And if you notice very carefully, those are cabbages and they are in little points. And so this town was known for Spitzenkraut. So this cabbage is a delicacy, but it's only grown in that region and you can only get them. And they look like little dunce hats and stuff. So we would go to the Spitzenkraut Fest and they would make everything with this cabbage from, you know, noodles and spätzle and this, they throw it into everything. And so when you think about Europe, we have a fest for everything. So your American Thanksgiving is practically practiced in Europe at harvest time. So they call it cab or harvest time. And so anything that's being harvested, we're celebrating every one of them. So right now, my friends are collecting friends and family members to go and harvest the grapes in the Stuttgart wine area. That is the biggest German wine area. People they think it's over on the west side, but it's not. So wine harvest is another. So Europeans, we're always the harvest time. Fall is wonderful because we're harvesting everything and we will party for anything. And right now I'm in Florida. I mean, really, I can't, there's no leaves here. We have to fake everything here.
There's a few, but you're exactly right. I was just talking to Juanita the other day because we have, you know, the German Oktoberfest coming up and I'm like, okay, I saw that outside of Atlanta, there's this little Bavarian town. What do you think? And lo and behold, I'm glad I asked her because she said they had flooded a couple of weeks ago. So anyways, when you get that list of fest, make sure you let us know, you know, since we're kind of stuck with the traveling thing, not been able to travel so much, at least we can travel inside the United States. So make sure you get that list to us.
I will send it out.
In central, kind of north central Washington state, we've got a little town called Leavenworth. It's a Bavarian village and they have a huge Oktoberfest every year.
Do they also have a Christmas thing? Because that may be the one that I had looked at a while back and I couldn't remember the name.
They got a beautiful big, they've got a maypole in the center of town that they also then use for the Christmas, you know, big celebration and whatnot. So who knows? I mean, obviously last year everything was shut down for that. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Leavenworth, Washington?
Leavenworth, Washington. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Have to look at
it. It's a great little town. It is so cute.
Yes.
I've been there once and I really want to go back and spend more time there.
I lived up there for years, but I've never actually made it out to Leavenworth.
Yeah, it's a little Bavarian village theme. It's a really, really fun little town.
So like Helen, Georgia.
Yes. Helen, Georgia is the place that I'm talking about that's here. It's about what, 4 hours from us, I think, or something like that. But it's kind of paired off of that. And what's cool is, you know, I lived in the Bavarian part of Germany. That was my first little area when we first moved to Europe. So that was pretty cool. Steve, welcome. You got in here. I'm going to let you go next. What we're doing is we're sharing anything that you love about fall, maybe a childhood memory, tradition, something you look forward to for fall.
Sure. So the thing that I love about fall is actually, I almost always go to symbolism rather than to concrete stuff. But the thing that I really appreciate about fall is that it is when we let go of things. It is when nature lets go of the leaves and the colors come out and it's a time of transition. So my two favorite times of year are spring, when things are just appearing, and fall, when things are transitioning out.
That's same here. Stuff just in case you don't know, it says the letters on your background are backwards.
Oh, they're backwards on, how funny. Because I changed it because the letters were back. Anyway.
It happened to me, Steve, and I went out and bought a poster with mirror image for this event, and everybody, and it looked perfect on mine. And everybody's like, you're backwards. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm sitting here looking at my screen and it's perfect. They're like, well, I'm telling you, it's reversed on us. So I don't know.
That's one of the challenges. Sometimes it looks reversed when you're looking at it, but everybody else is the other way. And yeah.
Just mirror your screen right now and it'll work.
There, yeah.
It should be. I think there's actually an option on the video to mirror your screen, so you can.
Okay. Well, it says let all your colors show. So.
Yeah. So if you go back into your virtual background, in the bottom, it'll say mirror background.
So does it look right now?
No.
Click on your virtual background.
That's what I did actually, but it isn't. Huh. Interesting.
And then click mirror my video in the bottom middle.
Well, that's like I said, that's what I just did, but
maybe you need to be out and then do it and then come back in, perhaps.
Try turning off the video, like stop the video and then, yeah.
Yeah, I just tried that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just.
I have to say, Zoom had put on their users conference. They do an annual one. It's called Zoomtopia, just beginning of this week. And these are the Zoom designers, the production, people, and they were presenting about, the new enhancements they're making, but they too were having technical difficulties. So it's very quite humbling to see that, these are people who are at Zoom HQ, and, and I was like not impressed with their backgrounds. They made this background and they were fading in and out and you could see the outline. So things that we struggle with, they did too, like screen sharing, all that. So we're not alone.
There you go. Well, let's do our screenshot right
Maybe
quick.
they'll improve it as a result of their struggle.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You should just let Steve's letters be backwards so that he stands out. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, I can go over like.
No, go ahead. Get in the middle. All right, we'll do a 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Did 2 just in case. Okay, Livia, I'm glad you did that because it was prompting me for. I'm not sure if you guys and gals know that this option is available in Zoom right now. So up at the top on your screen where it says Nancy's screen share, click on, is it annotation? Click
Correct.
on annotation.
View options.
View options and annotate.
Annotate. Yeah.
All
So
right.
that should bring up a couple icons for you to see with, texting, drawing, symbols, etc.
Oh, cool.
Look at that. Oh, look at this. Hey, look here. Look at these cool stamps. I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like,
Nancy and I were testing this out and it was so much fun, like having a virtual
I said,
whiteboard.
have you used this yet? And she's like, no, I didn't even know it was there. And I'm like, well, I think this could come in handy.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? And then over here to the right, of course, you can save it if you wanted to. But anyways, you can click on the text. One of the things that I didn't like about it is when you're typing, if you want to, can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Instead of just hitting enter, if you hit enter, it's just going to go down to the bottom. So what you really have to do is go outside and click for that to save.
Ah.
So that was kind of one of those. And then of course you can change your colors and, all of those things. But anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. So I thought I would share that with you today as something that you might could use in your Zooms.
Well, that's helpful because I have seen people that will be giving a presentation and then like circle a certain point in it. And I wondered how they did that. And I'm guessing maybe, I don't know, can you annotate over a presentation? We just had a blank screen there.
I'm not sure. That's something I'll have to check out and see.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You had also wanted me to mention StreamYard because we were talking the other day, and I did some research on StreamYard, and now you can actually pre-record up to 5 videos with StreamYard and set them to publish at a later time, which is perfect. So now for my little 1-minute health hacks, I'll record them all on Mondays on StreamYard and then set them to go out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I can just do it when I'm in the zone. And
Oh,
not,
great.
So are you able, do you have to, is it only like publishing to Facebook, or is it?
you
I
can
mean,
push it to YouTube, Facebook, it depending on the package you buy and the level. Like I know at the minimum level, you can send it to 3 places, right?
Okay, cool.
And you can pay more and send it to more places beyond that.
But so
And
the
I haven't
scheduling,
actually played with it yet. I was just reading all about it and doing the research. And tomorrow I'm going to start playing.
cool, cool.
Yeah, that's very helpful because I'm like you, and that's the way I used to do my podcasting. Is I would just knock them all out, once a month. I would just knock them all out, and get them
Same.
all done. And then
Mhm.
because I mean, you really have to, work with your time management. Otherwise, like you said,
Exactly.
get out of the zone, and then you have to
Yep.
kind of get back in and all of
Exactly.
that stuff.
Exactly.
Anybody else have anything that they've discovered kind of in that same area that they'd like to share this week yet? Welcome, Sophia. Good to see you.
I learned one more thing if you like.
Thank
and this
you.
was-
Sure.
This was from the help of somebody who's helping me with content writing, that in Facebook and LinkedIn, there's actually a setting so that if you do Facebook Lives or it's pushed out by StreamYard or whatever, you can have a setting turned on so that it will automatically put in the subtitles for when people are watching it without sound. I don't know how good it is at doing it, but it says that, it's pretty good transcription. So if you speak clearly, then it should be, it should make sense. I'll be trying that too.
Very good. Very good. Well, okay, we're going to move into our elevator pitch and irresistible offer session. We've not done that in a while. We've kind of got caught up in our featured speakers. I had a lot that I had pre-scheduled like a year in advance. And so I wanted to go ahead and allow them to do it. That's before we scheduled our once a month elevator pitch. So today we actually do get to practice and get a lot of good, helpful hints. Bruce, I had asked you last week or the week before that to share some of the tips that Ellie had been sharing with you about old school, new school, and some of the things that we were finding. Olivia and I have been going out, and Olivia especially working on getting a variety of people to come in and speak to us about different types of pitches. You will eventually find something that resonates with you, that feels good, that feels natural, and all of those things. A lot of you are in different networking groups, and they all have different rules or how they want you to do it. There's no wrong, no right. You do have to comply, obviously, when you go inside their groups. But the first thing that I want you to focus on is, what is it that you're trying to accomplish there? Are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to get an appointment? Are you just trying to get interest? Are you trying to get people excited? There's a myriad of different things of why you are somewhere. So that should be your foremost thing. And then Bruce, I'm going to go ahead and let you share what Ellie, he's been in a coaching program with Ellie for quite some time now. So go ahead and share what you've learned.
Yeah, it's just one of the things that she was pointing out is just the kind of the typical elevator pitch type of thing. This is 30-second or 1-minute elevator pitch is what all of the leaders like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, all of them says that's old school. It doesn't really convert. Stuff you have to come from your heart and connect. And it's the old adage and stuff. Nobody likes to be sold to, but they like to buy. So it's just presenting things that in a way that connects with your audience and that. So it's what I was doing, the way I was presenting before. She says, that sounds like a late night infomercial, Bruce. So at any rate, yeah.
Well, we've got that. And then on your website, of course, I went through that ClickFunnels training with Russell Brunson, and, been doing a whole lot of different trainings to try and learn some new techniques to bring. And, on your website, it's going to be different than what it is on your ads. Your ads are going to be a little bit different than when you come into a networking event. And, one of the first things, and I've just got this now ingrained since I went through that ClickFunnels training, is hook, story, offer.
Yeah.
Hook, story, offer. You want to grab their attention, tell your story, and then give them an irresistible offer. So what we could do, and this worked out really well a couple of months ago, let's talk about each piece of that component. And then I know, Jessica, last week you had a new one that you wanted to bring. So we'll make sure that when we do the pitch, bring you out first, and then we'll help you with that new pitch. And, as you have new products or services, or maybe new event that you're trying to promote, same thing, different technique, probably on LinkedIn, on how you want to do that. And so we'll get with you, Olivia, but let's go through and first go around the circle and tell us what your hook is. What is that first little statement that you're going to say that's going to get people's attention? So it could be like a sentence or a couple of words or something like that. And instead of putting you on the spot, why don't I just let you raise your hand if you have one that you would like for us to use or try? Bruce, go ahead.
Are you feeling stuck? Have you tried everything and you're still not getting the results that you want? So that's the hook.
What do y'all think? Thumbs up? Needs improvement? What do you think?
Can you be more specific with what you mean by stuck and results?
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, I was
Well,
going to say the same thing. I feel like it's good, Bruce, but I also feel like I've heard it before. So
Yeah.
if you could personalize it somehow to your brand, that would be helpful.
Well, that's one of the challenges too, is like stuck means different things to different people in that.
Yeah.
And so
Talk about in your health, you talk about in your career, are you talking about in your family life? Where are you stuck?
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's any place in your life.
So
But
here's,
But maybe you need to niche to what your particular expertise is.
'Cause
So
it-
that you can attract
I mean,
that. person who goes,
because
"Yes,
that's where
that-
we'll flow into the next
Okay.
part of my thing. So that, I mean, that's the hook part.
Mhm, mhm.
but in order for something to hook, it needs to have some specificity to it. In order, because if you speak about generalities, you're like stuck or results. It's so general. I don't know if that actually sticks to me or not. It doesn't, I can't relate to stuck. I mean, I can relate, like if you want to talk about career being feeling stuck in your career, I can definitely relate to that. If you're feeling stuck and, contending with a health issue, I can definitely relate to that. But if it's generic, like stuck in results, I don't know what to relate to because there isn't enough there to bring me into it. So even if your product, your service relates to a lot of different situations, just choose one that has some specificity to it so that people can really relate to it.
Yeah, because the next part is like, hi, I'm Bruce Barnes. I'm a mindset and wellness expert. And I'm your go-to expert to finding that needle in the haystack, that small change that's going to make a big impact in your life. I believe in simple solutions to get you to where you want to be. So that kind of probably still too general, but not sure how to tweak it and still be concise. So
when have you felt stuck, Bruce?
Yeah, here we go.
So you want, okay. just wanting to make changes in my life that not sure where to start or how to begin or what the next steps are.
No, I think what Steve was saying, you could use that as your lead in, just simply ask the question and see what the person says. The one thing that fits with what I was going to say is, and I'm curious to get Nancy's feedback of what she thinks, but the way you started, I don't know if it was the tone of voice, what you said, but I felt like, oh, here's a pitch coming, and you kind of turn off, close down immediately. And starting the way Steve suggested, I think you could get into a conversation and then lead in with what you're talking about in a very natural way.
Or maybe just say, how do you go from point A to point B, right? Just making that steps and realizing there's like little steps in between.
I'd also love to offer, Bruce, that I think because you've been through so much yourself in your life, I think that's your hook. So I think you should start with something in terms of, you know, I used mindset to overcome a myriad of obstacles in my life. Are you feeling stuck? I can help you, that kind of thing, because to know that you have experience in it and that mindset is what helps you is already going to get people curious. I think the personalization from your story is actually really important in your hook.
Okay, yeah, because it's I'm revamping the outline of my book and to match this course series that I'm doing, and mindset is the foundation in my formula and that. So okay,
or
I'll play with that.
To go with what Helen just said, you could do where you just say, hey, I've had these problems, or been stuck at different times in my life, and then use what Steve said. Have you ever felt that way about something? And then wait for them to respond, and then go into the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, this is the type of pitch that you're just making in a networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how does that fit in with here you are, it's time to, it's like in here, yes, we're practicing, but in conversation, it's like, well, what do you do? What do you do, Bruce?
Yeah, because that's one of the things that on a one-on-one conversation, that's different than when you're in a networking group making your little elevator pitch type thing. So
and that's something that probably what we should be also working on as we're going back to more live events. So probably maybe we need to figure out when we would like to do that, but we're practicing elevator pitches. These are more in terms of, like you said, going into networking groups, but we probably should put something on the calendar for doing that. And that's where Laurel's event, that's kind of what her elevator pitch practice session.
Her thing isn't really a pitch. It's an ask, tell.
Yeah, ask, tell, ask, ATAs.
Yeah.
And that kind of gets you.
Yeah. So it gets in the conversation of things. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think, since we are going to be, doing some live events, we're out of practice with that because it happened to me. I guess it was last month or whatever, at one of my events, and somebody said that, and it kind of took me aback. Here we've been doing this other stuff for so long that it's just, oh my gosh, conversation that you really, what do you do? I don't know what I do. Let me think about it. Let me see this week.
You need an interactive conversation? Wow.
Can we just book a call?
There you go. There you go. 15-minute meet and greet. That's what I do.
Yeah. I'm an expert at a 15-minute meet and greet. How about that? Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Was that
thanks.
helpful, Bruce?
Yep.
Okay. Who else would like to practice their hook?
I'd love to go.
Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
So this was based on tweaking it after the mastermind on Tuesday. Is your body talking to you? Are you paying attention? I ask this because when your body talks to you, it first issues it gently in the form of a feather. And if you don't listen, next time comes the brick. And if you still don't listen, look out for the semi-trailer headed your way. And then I go into my name is Melissa Dealey of Your Guided Health Journey and talk about you want me to do it or? should I
No,
keep
just
going
do
properly?
that piece right there. The only thing for me, you need to shorten that up some, because when you said it the other day, it was really, I mean, you were just saying it
Okay.
and it was just really short, but it's just like, oh my gosh, yeah. First it's a feather, then comes the brick, and then
Okay.
there's gonna get hit by the semi. And
Okay, so I
then,
don't
no.
need the, if you don't listen, I can take that out.
Yep.
Okay.
Just take all that out.
Okay.
Anybody else? And then we'll let her redo that. Go
So
ahead.
I was
Kate.
thinking the same things, and you could shorten it to, is your body speaking to you in feathers or bricks? Or, and I would also be careful with the semi, because feathers and bricks are kind of gravitational. Semi changes the paradigm or the language, so that it's not the same sequence. And I don't know what exactly would be the third
Well,
point.
maybe instead of a semi, this is a boulder or a rock or, something.
Or the wall.
Yeah.
What was that? The
The
wall?
crumbling, well, the brick and then the wall that came,
Right.
the brick was one piece and then we've got the
The whole wall.
whole wall.
There you go. The whole wall crashing down, maybe,
Or your whole house, because your
Yeah.
body is kind of your home as well. So
Yeah.
you might use that.
Foundation is the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Roof is, yeah. I used to use that, and I miss Melissa. I love that because I always use that analogy. It's like this,
Yeah.
right? And then it's
when
then
she
it's
had
like-
that the other day, it was so neat because it was just like, like a feather whispering in your ear.
Are you listening?
And you could play with the vocal variety there too. So you could say with a feather, with a brick, or with a wrecking ball.
Ooh, I
there
like
you
that.
go.
Wrecking
That's
ball,
really
I
Wow,
like
good.
wrecking
that.
ball. Yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And do like, I love that the voice
Mhm.
inflection, like with a feather, and then get louder, or the wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be very powerful.
Yep.
So you want to try it again?
I'm just tweaking here. Yep. So, is your body talking to you? And are you paying attention? I ask this because when your body talks to you, first it issues a feather, and next comes the brick. And then look out for the wrecking ball.
All right. The first little piece did not go. It's not what's your body saying to you?
Is your body talking to you?
Is
I
your
was gonna
body
say-
talking to you? And
And
then,
are you paying attention?
and then the way you got to tie into,
And then I said, I ask this because when the body talks to you, it first issues a feather.
it
Maybe
doesn't
So you
issue a
can-
feather.
you can
It doesn't
omit
issue a
the-
feather. It's
working. Oh.
Yeah.
the weight. Yeah.
I
You can
would,
your
tighten it
body
up,
talking to
remove the second.
A whisper, maybe.
I would change that first part. This is your body talking to you? This is say your body talks to you. Are you listening?
That's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Good.
And stuff.
then
And
the
instead of a feather, I would say a whisper.
Okay.
And then the other thing is if you want to actually even say it directly, it's like, have you ever had the experience where, when you look back now, you can actually remember when before you had this issue or an issue that you were actually there was a gentle nudge, and then it went away. And then it came back, and it came back with a little more force, and you still ignored it. And then finally, when you got like the bonk on the head, you woke up. And I'm not saying to make it that long, but that idea of that direct conversation, because who has not had that experience in their past in anything?
That's
Right?
what
Everybody has, whether it's in their health or whether it's in something else. Like it's that intuitive, I really shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it'll be okay.
Yeah. Your body, if you continue to ignore your body, it'll get stronger and stronger message until you pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only comment though, Melissa, is you may have to have a trademark sign off with Miley Cyrus for that wrecking ball.
Have a little music in the background.
Yeah.
That could play to your
you could say-
advantage too.
You could say something you know, when you're doing that transition, the transition is where I had the problem with,
Right.
you know, when your body speaks to you, it speaks at 3 different levels. First, it gives you a soft whisper. Next, you know what I'm saying? And then that kind of is the transition, because
Right.
your body doesn't talk to you as a feather. You know, you have,
Right.
yeah, yes, Claudio.
This is just kind of a suggestion just off the top of my head. What about something like this? Is your body talking to you, and are you listening? It may start off talking to you like a feather. Maybe it might grow into a brick, or it may explode into a wrecking ball, sort of grow up to it. So it's kind of literally one leading into the other.
Yeah, I like that. Thank
Something
you.
like that. Yeah, for sure.
And I
Yeah.
like what you said, Kate, too, but I think that's more for the conversation, not the 1-minute intro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Um,
It's like your,
Well,
your
you
body
can,
talk.
you can have that group conversation with, is because you're actually addressing everybody that way. I mean, not in my words, but the
Right.
idea of
Right.
it.
but just
Yeah.
fitting it all in 1 minute.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
still
because
have
that's
to
just
Oh
that,
yeah,
explain
that
no,
hook
why
is just,
I was
yeah,
just talking through the whole visual
Right.
piece, not
Yeah.
the timing piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, the beginning and stuff, it says your body talks to you. Are you listening? This, you know,
Your body's
this-
always speaking,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
just like God's always speaking. We're just not necessarily listening.
There you go. There you go.
So
Was that
Claudio,
helpful, Melissa?
Claudio, can you just say what you had said again? So I've changed it here, and I've got when your body talks to you, but are you paying attention? When the body talks to you, it first whispers like a feather. And then what did you say for the brick
Okay,
one? before you
Don't repeat the when your
I
body
would-
talks to you, because you've already said that one time. That'll cut in on your time.
Yeah, I wouldn't refer to feather. I just say it speaks in a whisper.
Okay.
Mhm, yeah.
So it
Because
first
the feather is like, oh, is it tickling me?
speaks in a whisper, and then what was next?
It could be the
Brick.
thump of a brick or an explosion of a wrecking ball. I mean, you
Thank
can use
you.
whatever adjective
Or
you
you-
want, but
Yeah, no, that's good.
I
Good
really
idea.
like
It's
what
a
you said. So.
whisper, or then
Nicely done.
yells at you and then hits you with a wrecking
Yeah.
ball or something. Yeah.
If you wanted to keep the feather as well, Melissa, because you're like the other two are actually felt pressure, whereas a whisper is something that you hear. So you
Right.
could say it falls on you gently like a feather,
Okay.
or it thumps you like a brick, or it whatever explodes
Nice,
on you
Ellen.
like a wrecking ball,
or
right?
or whispers like a feather.
Or it first speaks gently like a feather.
Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to have the verb that you're using correspond to the noun that you're using. So whisper like a feather, hit you like a brick, I don't know, demolish you like a wrecking ball.
Okay.
Or-
So
yeah,
your
not-
body
yeah.
talks to you, but are you paying attention? It first speaks like a feather. Sorry, it first whispers like a feather, or it could be the thump of a brick, or explode into a wrecking ball. Or an explosion like
Well, I
a
would say
wrecking
it's
ball.
it's a hit, or just hit you like a wrecking ball.
Okay. Okay. Thank
You want to keep it really tight, and so you're looking for really strong verbs, and you've already got really strong nouns. So you just want to match those verbs and try to get rid of all the stuff that doesn't contribute to the image that you're portraying.
Good. Love
Okay,
that.
thank you very much. That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
All right. Anybody else want to practice their hook? Go ahead, Kate.
That was me.
Okay.
Remember, that was me. Yeah. So I'm starting from scratch here. So what came to mind when we just did that little bit of workshopping in there was asking the questions, do you ever feel invisible or unheard? And then moving from that space. So
Where would you flow in?
well, where I'm flowing into is that I can totally identify with that feeling, because I literally lost my voice on a stage when I was really young. And for a long time, I felt very unheard. And I was afraid to speak and to express. And what I just, and so I have to work on the next piece of it, because it all fits together from a perspective of the emotional invisibility to the physical also invisibility. So I don't know how now that I have that one piece, I can work on the next piece as far as how I help people increase. Would you like to increase your visibility, your impact, and therefore your income? And then talking about a little bit about that short piece, a short piece of what it is that I do.
So say it again.
So the
Just
first part, yeah.
I like I said, I'm workshopping it right from the beginning. I don't have a line. So
Yeah.
I'm starting from scratch here. And that is just, have you ever felt invisible or unheard?
I would say I like both. Have you ever felt?
I would use both of them.
Yeah.
I would use
like
both
it.
of them.
I
You're
like
speaking loud and
maybe-
clear to me, Kate, so.
Yeah, it's direct to the point, and to the person that feels that way, it would capture their attention 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
And
I'd even add,
if you feel that way, would you like to be heard? Would you like to feel more visible?
Yeah.
well, the other
sounds
part
good.
of that is, I think, this is, do you feel invisible? You feel like you're not heard. And
Mhm.
then say, have you found your voice yet?
Yeah, well, that's the whole piece that's within it. So,
Yeah.
Or maybe it's let me help you find your voice at some point.
There we go.
Because if they're feeling unheard, they probably haven't found it, right?
well, and either what I use all the time is I say, own your voice,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
'Cause
I like
that's,
that.
I'm moving into that space because it's owning your voice and claiming joy. So,
I think it's great, Kate. I don't think you need to overthink it. You've got
no,
like
Yeah.
I don't
70%.
want to overthink it. That's why,
Yeah.
every time I come in, I want to actually just speak from my heart, and I don't want it to sound canned. I am tired of hearing people's pitches, because they don't sound authentic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's why we practice, and that's why we're here. We've got all this variety of backgrounds and
Yeah.
different ideas so that we can say how it's resonating with us,
Yeah.
and we speak the truth. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing in this group because we want you to rise higher, go further, faster. And the only way we can do that is to speak to you in love and truth. And so,
Absolutely.
we're not afraid to say what we think in here. So, all right, well, we've got time for one more before we go into the other piece of this. Go ahead, Sophia.
Have you ever tried to change anything in your life only to find yourself right back where you started?
Oh, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I like it a lot.
Mhm.
What do y'all think? Thumbs up?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, you got a winner there, Sophia.
Awesome, thank you.
Isn't it?
Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say that I like the concept. It's a little bit long, and I mean, it takes a while to kind of land the punch. I don't know exactly what I would take out, but I'm wondering if there's a way to deliver that punch more quickly. And I'd have to probably see it written out in order to be able to kind of look and see what.
Can you say it one more time, Sophia?
Okay. Have you ever tried to change anything in your life only to find yourself right back where you started?
You could take out in your life and yourself and say, have you ever tried to change anything only to find yourself right back where you started, or only to end up right back where you started?
And I don't even think you need anything. You can just say, have you ever tried to change only to find yourself doing the same thing over again, or whatever?
The definition of insanity, right?
There you go. Yep. Love that quote.
Are you living the quote? Do the same thing over and over again.
Oh.
Are you
I
living
know,
the Groundhog Day?
I mean, it was just one sentence. It's not that long. I didn't see
Yeah.
there was that big of an issue getting to the point. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it was short and got to the point quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems
Yep.
good to me. Yeah.
Maybe just take out in your life and find that happy medium, because are those 3 words really needed? Have you ever tried to change anything? Have you ever tried to change anything in your life? Did they add to it?
How about I read it like, have you ever tried to change only to find yourself right back where you started?
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nice one, Sophia.
Okay, awesome. So
Good
we'll
job.
go with that.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna go into the little bit longer version now, and we're gonna start with Jessica because she had one last week that she wanted to practice and we didn't give her a chance to do that. So again, usually we're gonna say 2 minutes and let her go. Let me grab this right quick.
She can tie me all she wants. I'm scrambled eggs because so here's what I have. I have a video training course and I just I'm not sure what the hook is or what the pitch, and this is not a problem I normally have. So I am feeling like a fish out of water, like truly pulling this together. It's a video training course and guide, and it helps someone all the way through all the steps of finding a virtual assistant. So where do you look for them? What do you do for the job? You know, posting, how do you interview them? How do you onboard them? How do you, manage the projects that you're going to do with them? What projects are they going to do? It's all those things. And the research I've done so far, the questions that are the most like upfront in the person's mind, that is my ideal customer, is, can I even afford a virtual assistant? And can I let go of control of these tasks to let someone and trust someone else to do them? And what are the tasks that they can do? Those have been like the top 3 questions that the people who are my ideal customer are asking themselves to buy this from the conversations that I've had. But I don't know where to go or where to start with the hook and the pitch.
Let's start with this hook. Okay. Are you overwhelmed in your business? Do you think that you can't afford a VA or virtual assistant, or, you know, because I'm right there.
Or how about, are you wearing, instead of are you overwhelmed in your business, it could be, are you wearing too many hats?
There you go.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
then do you think you can't afford from there?
Or have you considered a virtual assistant, but don't think you can afford one?
That's very good.
My name
That's
is
really
Jessica
good.
Koch, and I'm
Yeah.
here to tell you that there's a way, or blah, blah, blah. So let's back up on that just a minute.
Well, I mean, is it really focusing on can you afford it or not? And it's just, or is it explaining what is involved with a virtual assistant and that?
Well, I do. My
benefits.
My training does include a really good formula for understanding how to make sure that the tasks that they're doing will continue to scale your revenue so that they can afford. So I do teach them how to continue to afford it, if that makes sense, and also what to do and how to find someone that is high quality, high skill, but they actually can afford.
How about this? How about this, Jessica? You go in, don't talk about the afford piece, talk about wear too many hats. You know, have you considered virtual assistant? And then say, hi, my name is Jessica Koch. The top 3 concerns that I hear most often are blah, blah, blah. In my new course, I can show you, boom, and then go for just a short, don't tell them everything, but you know, these are the things that I address, as well as a myriad of other things or whatever, and then schedule a time for that. And that would be short, sweet, to the point, and that would nail every single one of your objections right up front.
I need this recording so I can take the formula you just said and actually type that out.
It's like
I
at
really
the,
like that.
At the beginning, saying, says, have you considered a virtual assistant? Maybe you should. And then, because there's a lot of people that may not ever even cross their mind.
I want to give you a different idea too, Jess, because when you're typically looking for a VA, you already know that you need one. So the idea of, are you wearing too many hats? Like that's kind of something that I've heard before a lot. I wonder if it might be interesting for you to take the approach of, you took a course to figure out how to do your social media. You took a course to figure out how to do your bookkeeping. How have you considered the value of taking a course to figure out if you're ready for a VA in your business? Like focusing on the idea of the value of the course, as opposed to, do you need a VA or not? That might just give a bit of a different angle to it.
Yeah. So what's your,
it's a course?
What's your market, target market? Is it people that know they want one or just haven't even considered?
I think it's the no they want. They know they
Okay.
want one, but there's some things holding them back, some fears, some unknowns of, where do I start? Where do I go to find one? How do I trust them? How do I track their time? How do I pay them? How do I train them? What can they do for me? And can I trust that this task is going to be done like I would do it? I can't let go of that. Only I can do that. Some of that, the control freak fear is also there. But the number one is they don't believe they can afford one, which is fascinating to me. And the number two is they don't know what things to assign. I have so many people who come to me, I have a virtual assistant now. I don't know what to do with them. What do they do? What can they do for me? And they don't know how to manage or communicate with them. It's really fascinating because it's not a problem I've ever had, but it's one I'm really running into, that people are raising their hand saying, what do I do? I mean, I've had people pay me my hourly consulting wage, which is not cheap, to work with them and their team member to figure out what the heck it is that they should be doing for them.
That's why I think the focus on the course, Jess, is actually key.
Yeah,
It's
I
for
like
people
Helen's
who
idea.
don't know what to do. You take courses for lots of things, right? You learn how to market, you learn how to do this. How about if you learn how to effectively use a VA so that you can afford them? Like, I think that's a really interesting angle because people are confused.
Well, that's maybe this is, at the beginning, he says, are you considering getting a virtual assistant and are confused about what they can do and whether you can afford it or not?
Yeah, and
So I'm in a situation right now where my oldest son, who's 26, came to me and he's got some extra time on his hand, came to me saying, I want to be your virtual assistant. Money is not even an issue because he doesn't care about the money. But I'm so busy juggling my hats that I have no idea what to let go of in order to give to him.
Totally. I totally
Yeah.
get that. That's a big
Yeah.
one for me.
Well, I break a lot of that down. So, and I have a program for that too.
Yeah, the question is, can you afford not to have one?
Yeah, that is a huge question. But the people who come to me, really, sometimes the word virtual assistant isn't even on the list. Some of what, like Bruce is saying, mostly it's I'm overwhelmed, my list is endless, and I'm working way too many hours. And then they've heard of this virtual assistant thing. They know it's a solution, but have no idea where to start. Can they afford it? How do they do it? And what the hell should they be doing?
That's it right there.
There's your pitch.
That's it right there. That's your
You just
pitch.
did it. You just did it.
I don't know what I said. I need
but
to
I think we're recording, so you
rewind.
can go back.
Yeah.
We're recording.
You
Yeah,
did.
you can go back.
You did it.
Jessica, that was freaking
You
perfect.
It was
Yeah, you
perfect.
list your 3 things. You
I
got off
would
the
book,
top.
I would book an appointment like that. Like I go, okay, so how do I do this, right? Yeah.
That was fun. And exciting. Thank you
And
for
it wasn't,
giving me your time,
something
everybody.
manufactured. It was just bada bing, bada boom, baby.
Well,
Yeah.
I was trying to, when I said it truthfully, I was trying to emotionally gut connect to that person who I've been listening to and talking to. And that's where that came from.
An hour and 43 minutes into the recording. That's where you go.
Thank you, Bruce.
Jessica, here's something that I do.
Stopped the recording at one point.
And
excuse me, an hour and 13 minutes into this. Yeah.
Jessica, another option is, and what I do regularly is I get into that state where you're talking about, where you're connecting emotionally with that person, have your phone or whatever other recorder that you want to use there, play record and capture what you just said. And it doesn't have to be exactly what you just said just now,
No.
but it'll be, if you're in that state and you express yourself the way that you just expressed yourself, it'll be close enough that you can capture it and use it.
Can I just, Jessica, I know that you like to try and explain everything to people, and it's like what you just did now in 15 seconds. I would never do a 2-minute or a 1 minute or even a 30-second, because there's so much that your business does that when you just do that, nobody's going to go into overwhelm listening to you. Right. And you don't have an opportunity to talk them out of it. They're already jumping out of their seat and going, where do I go? What do I do?
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you, Steve, and everybody for your time and your comments. This is a new exciting thing for me. And truthfully, I've had 7 kids, but now I feel like I'm about to have 8 because birthing this course and launching this program has been a big deal for me. And I've launched others, but this one has been something special. And so I appreciate your support, time, and kindness. And thank you, Nancy.
Oh, thank you. Love that. And I will make sure, we'll post this to the YouTube channel so that you can go in there and grab that. All right. Wow. That was quick. Didn't take very long at all, Jessica. And you did it yourself. Thanks, guys.
But I needed the coaxing though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what this group is for. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on Facebook, get your buns in here because I've been doing all kinds of talking, well, for 48 years because I have a big mouth, but that's how long I've been living. But for 25 years, and I do it, I think, pretty well and teach and all these things, but I still need the brilliance of the people in this room, and so do you. So you should join our club and stop watching us on Facebook and YouTube and get your buns in here.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Thank you.
That's the power. It's the power of the group.
It is. And what I love is it's why I wanted to go around the room and tell today where everybody was from, because you never know. Like I was on last night with a gal from Scotland, and I can't wait to get her in here. And it's just so neat that, we all have had different experiences, and we all, when you say something, it resonates with all of us a little bit different. So to be able to get different people's input is really invaluable. Okay. Who would like to go next? Who would like to practice and get some feedback? Anybody? Welcome, Barry. I saw you sneak in.
Juanita had her hands up there.
Okay. I'm sorry I missed it. Go ahead, Juanita.
Are we doing the
We're doing the full length one, your hook, story, and offer. Or if you want to just practice on one piece and get some feedback on something, whatever you want to do today.
Okay, so let's try this. All right. Have you ever been stuck at the airport? Well, after having a client during the pandemic stuck at the airport boarding gate where they refused her to travel to Germany, we worked in the background, contacting the embassy and host nation police to update the entry requirements. So we got our client to her grandmother's funeral. This is one of the reasons you need a travel agent. We're there 24 hours a day because we provide personal travel care. My name's Juanita Harvin, and I'm the CEO of Your Way Tours. We're a full-service travel agency and a military family-owned business. We specialize in European adventures, to castles, vineyards hopping, automobile tours, wellness in the Black Forest, and ancestry tours. And having lived overseas for over 40 years, we love to inspire travel, share our cultural and culinary experience from our personal travel network. So we'd like to be your global travel agency for your global adventures. And we're offering a $100 discount on our travel planning session. So give us a call, or you can find us under hashtag global tours and trips.
All right. What do y'all think?
The beginning part with the story, I think you could shorten that up. Have you ever encountered a challenge while traveling? We work behind the scenes to resolve those issues.
I loved the story part. I thought it got too long at the end, the last part, because people are right away going to ask you, oh, you can be my concierge. Do you plan trips too? Because travel agents always do a big variety of things, but what you're doing is you're actually being like a concierge in a way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't take out the fact that the details of what you did for that person and the fact that it was the funeral and all that. I wouldn't shorten that, Bruce. I hate to disagree with you, but the reason that was the wow factor for me, that she was able to have those kinds of contacts and she had that kind of reach, and that she, was that kind of, I would list yourself as a travel ambassador, because that's what you were. You were there to make sure that she was cared for and everything was saw through
Yep.
In a
I
way
think the
that
story's the most
Well,
important
and
part.
I think
Yeah,
what she
I
could
do
do is
too.
she could get rid of some of the extra verbiage, but keep the story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of go back through that. So I think that would be an area where you could
So what I was thinking,
shorten
you
it up.
brought
Because
me
you
back
had me
to,
at hello, Juanita.
I just flew cross country from Asheville to Washington State, and from Washington State, Seattle specifically, back here. And both times I was stuck in the airport. So and it was a pain in the butt. The only thing I would actually invite you to bring in a little bit more richer detail. You know, like when I was in Seattle, we were literally in the waiting line going through security for over an hour. And both my daughter and I were freaking out because, you know, we knew our plane was leaving in a short period of time. We actually ended up missing it. And it was, and so just, you know, bring in those really rich details, whatever that may be, so that people can be there in that scene. And it doesn't have to be the exact same scene everybody else has been through. It's just that scene. And by creating that really rich, then it extends to whatever else somebody else has been through.
So what I'm hearing from the group so far is keep that beginning part, draws you in, keep the personalized stuff, and then maybe shorten up you don't have to list maybe all of that stuff at the end.
Right, right.
You know, and then you can still get it over that you're a full service travel agency specializing, you know, in European adventures such as, and do like 3, you know, boom, 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 among others, you know, that way you don't have to just keep going.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because yesterday another thing came to me and I thought, oh, how am I going to explain this? So I had a client that I had a year ago that called and said, well, Juanita, I'm on this other trip with my group, but I can't see flights. I need to get another flight to get me there. And I know you see stuff that I don't see. So I thought I better call you. And I thought, oh, see, I got her through that last trip. She remembered me because I got flights that she couldn't find.
Well, that's the other thing is that it seems like a lot of the times you're really emphasizing your specialty of being, you know, the European
personalized.
tours.
Yeah.
But some people may not even consider you for, well, I want to travel within the United States. So they may not even consider you for that.
Right, right.
And so
Global,
that's
baby,
exactly
global.
that's what I was just thinking, Juanita, is what is your niche? Because you had me sold on your first story, and I'm traveling to the US soon and doing like you know, go to Florida, go to North Carolina, go to Arizona. And as I don't know who just said it, Steve said, things can get totally screwed up. So I was thinking, oh, I got to speak to you. But then you started talking about Europe. And then in my head, I'm wondering, would she help me? Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm legitimately asking that question now. So if you say yes, then I want to connect with you. And if you say no, then I get it.
Oh, yes, I do America a lot right now because lots of people don't want to travel overseas anywhere. And actually, I'm learning more about Canada because that's where most of our Americans want to go to now.
Awesome.
Crazy people, they don't know what's going on over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't come to
They
Canada.
might never get let go.
Yeah, Kate in the West and I'm in the East. Come on up.
I know
you get
it.
here, you
I
might never
can't
get
wait.
out.
I can't wait. Got to
Well, when
open
you
that
do-
border up. Maybe we just need to go from the United States all the way across from East Coast to West Coast and take over the border and let folks in.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna say when you do your pitch, you know, you have your avatar in mind. I mean, Juanita's specialty clearly is like the global European chores. But you know, I love what Melissa brought up. Like, well, can you help me too when I'm traveling to the US? And like, even though she wasn't speaking to that audience, like, yeah, sure, Melissa, I can help you. I have a few clients that I'm, you know, planning.
Okay.
But you might can just add that little blurb in. Although I specialize in European, you know, travel adventures, blah, blah, blah.
I can help anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
I can help you get to your destination. You know, I can help you to get to your preferred
Any destination, maybe.
Any destination.
Juanita, I just tried to connect on LinkedIn, but I can't message you. So if you can drop your email in the chat, I will follow up.
Yes, sure will. Sure will.
Juanita, what you might say is, after you say the European thing, is say that, we have people doing that, but because of COVID, we have a lot of people who are traveling now in the US and Canada, and I've been able to find them flights that they couldn't find
Well, I wouldn't even put in COVID. I would just say, says I can help you find local destinations too, and just help you with any of your travel needs.
I'm not
Right.
limited to only European,
Yeah.
you
Or
know.
How
North
about
American.
simply European or
American
any place
destination.
else in the world?
Yep, okay, okay.
Well,
Yeah, I think I would keep that, you know, although I specialize in, that way up front, everybody knows this is your specialty,
Right.
but I can boom, boom, boom.
I like the European specialist too, but I would also say after that, that you have a level of expertise in the US, Canada, and globally. Like that way you're being specific and all encompassing instead of anyone everywhere. You're listing, but then still covering the whole gamut. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, and don't say but, say and. Well, we specialize in European travel.
He's right. That's a
And-
wordsmith thing. Yep, you got that. You
You know,
caught me.
another thing that you could do, Juanita, is since you started out talking about being stuck in an airport, you could play off of that. So anytime you feel stuck trying to get to that perfect destination, wherever it may be.
Oh,
Reach out.
that's why I love this group.
Okay,
No,
we have a couple of minutes left. Would you like to continue this and do this again next week for the rest of you, since we only got through a couple of people? Would
I think
this
this
be
is
valuable
beneficial.
for you?
Yeah, I think it's really
Absolutely.
good for everybody.
Yeah, very, very good. Yep.
Okay, so next week we'll plan on continuing this. So bring your elevator pitches and whatever you want to work on, and instead of going around the room, we will let you, you know, spotlight and raise your hand to be more comfortable.
I've got
Yes.
next Friday is the start of Maya's Born for This, so there's
Oh,
gonna be
yep.
an overlap.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna be here. But-
Okay, I forgot about that. Yep, it's on our calendars. All right. Anything, Olivia,
Do you have
that
a
you?
theme?
While I'm thinking about it, we will not have the co-op meeting this Tuesday. I will record it because I have to be out and I can't be back in time. There's just no way that I can do that. So I'll record that for the
Okay.
co-op. So there will not be any Tuesday. Also, Livia and I are working on a new database. And so what we're looking for is 100 direct sales reps from different companies that we don't already have inside our network. So we're going to start niching down when I'm going out and doing my networking, and her too. We have tons of health and wellness people. So we need referral partners outside that, you know, whether it's children's, you know, men's, women's, you know, I don't care if it's furniture, I don't care what kind of product and service it is, but let's try and get outside the health and wellness and gather some new referral partners for some different products and services. So if you know of anybody in direct sales or whatever, make sure you refer them in. And I will try and get an updated list on who we already have inside our network with what companies. And what would be great is I may just do a little survey, and because we haven't done that in a while, and I'll send it to you in an email, a Google Doc, and you just send me if you already are a rep for any of those companies. Tell me what they are so that I can get that list updated so we know who we have inside our network. Livia, do you have anything to add to that?
No, and it looks like Nancy is going to come to Jacksonville soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
What was that?
Nancy's going to come visit me in Jacksonville. So stay tuned.
Oh, wow.
I gotta stay at her B&B and give her a 1-star review.
Have you alerted the local authorities to?
Oh, trust me, they'll be alerted. They'll be alerted. Oh,
Nancy's going to enter like a wrecking ball.
that's it. Oh, goodness, y'all are nuts. All right. Anything else? Kimberly, we're so glad that you joined us today. Do you have any comments on your experience from today?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I wasn't 100% certain what it was going to be like. So I appreciate the invite again and looking forward to more opportunities.
All right. Fabulous. Well, if nobody has anything else, everybody go and have a fabulous weekend, and I will see y'all soon.
Have a great
Have a
weekend,
great
everyone. Thanks,
weekend and a
Nancy.
great trip.
Thank you.
Happy fall.
Bye.
Bye.